Yeah, but it works on the screens on the ceiling.
I can't see it, which means you've got to be right in front of it, I guess.
I was just there.
Okay. Oh.
So well, for presentations, we're using PowerPoint. You can bring you can create a pointer linked out. Which is what I did last week.
I just left the fire.
But you got to be right in front of it when you're stepping up, because I couldn't see it. So if I was trying to show everybody right in front. We're live.
This council meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of November 6, 2023 was published in the Courier News and Star Ledger and placed in the borough's bulletin board. A notice of this meeting was also placed on the borough's website. In addition, a copy of this notice is available to the public, and a copy of the statement shall be included in the minutes of this meeting. Mayor Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Sorry. Council members: Granville Brady.
Here.
Tom Mitchell.
Here.
Gina Stravic.
Here.
Roger Vroom.
Here.
Teresa Bonner.
Here.
Randy Pitts.
Here. All right. Please join me in the flag salute and remain standing.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We pause for a few minutes to reflect on the life of Elaine Goldsmith. Ms. Goldsmith was the longtime spouse of Doc Goldsmith, renowned pediatrician and probably one of the longest-serving members of our planning board. Just a font of dedication. Elaine was known as Dr. Joyce Brothers' sister, but she certainly had a life beyond her family connection. She was in Who's Who. She had a great legal career. And on a family level, she had 3 children, 9 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. And I think that, when you encapsulate a life, it's not the work you did, it's the family you left behind. So a moment of silence for Elaine F. Goldsmith. Thank you. We have one set of minutes from October 16th. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Council members: Granville Brady.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, we'll start with committee reports, and we'll go from my far right, Dr. Brady.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Those attending last week's special council meeting seem to be unanimous in their opposition to adding apartments. That includes some of the members of our council, and instead of bucking what seems to be a growing trend, I suggest the redevelopment committee take a serious look at the residents' wishes for an arts center and or recreation. To that end, I propose the following. We're going to wait until we receive the consultant's report and findings, then meet with the redevelopment committee to review those recommendations, discuss ways that could be implemented, and perhaps draft an RFP reflecting the residents' wishes to present to council for approval. I have no particular time frame for this, but I believe we must take the public's input seriously. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
And I concur. Thank you. Ms. Bonner.
I have just a report from the Recreation Department this week. Once again, the Halloween Spooktacular was a wonderful and well-attended event. Together with the Downtown Somerville Alliance, they created a family-friendly event downtown that even a little rain couldn't dampen. The Recreation Department now looks forward to the Somerville 5K Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving morning at 9 a.m. Online registration at somervilleturkeytrot.com closes on November 17th. The fee to participate is $40 and proceeds directly benefit Somerville rec programs, events, and facilities. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell.
Just a couple of reminders. Taxes are due this week, and tomorrow is Election Day. Do not forget to vote. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Stravik.
The Environmental Commission hosted the statewide ANJEC meeting. That's the statewide Environmental Commission group. There are various communities represented here, over 30 people. I want to thank Kevin for coming out on a Saturday morning to help with the setup. The response was very positive and a great exchange of ideas to learn from each other. Also on Sunday, the Environmental Commission hosted, the Green Team hosted the end of the summer garden party. So they closed up the garden, community garden over behind the firehouse. So that went on, and they're in the process of reviewing the state tree ordinance. So we'll look forward to the recommendations on that. If anybody has any input, you can go to their page, their Facebook page, and contact them regarding input. And then regarding Personnel Committee, there remain several jobs open. They're all posted on the website, and anyone can look at that for employment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vroom.
This past Saturday, the Fire Prevention Office and members of the Somerville Fire Department installed smoke detectors in areas of the borough. They were accompanied by the American Red Cross, who provided the smoke detectors and went with us door to door to identify those homes and those families that needed them. We actually installed smoke detectors in 5 residents that were identified as in need. So if you are in need of a smoke detector and/or carbon monoxide detector, you can contact the Office of Fire Prevention. It's 908-725-2300 at extension 1967 or 1968. Again, thank you to the Red Cross and members of the fire department who came out to support this event. And it was, obviously, we just had daylight savings time rolled back. So just a good time to check your smoke detectors, make sure that they are functioning, run a test on them, press the button. Again, take a look and make sure that they are within the 10 years. Nowadays, many smoke detectors come with batteries that last 10 years, but if you have the batteries that need to be changed, please look at the back. There's a manufacture date. It should be within the last 10 years. If it's not, please go out and purchase new ones. Again, it's keeping you and your family safe. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. President.
Thank you, Your Honor. The DSA seems to be stacking up the awards. Their most recent award was the Excellence in Arts Award for the Charmfield Sculpture Project by the Somerset County Cultural and Heritage Commission. Because of Charmfield, we have seen more than 6,000 new visitors to the courthouse lawn. Overall foot traffic in this area has increased by almost 15% over last year and over 60% in the last 2 years. Data shows that our customer journey to and from the lawn includes visits to local businesses, which I know is true, where patrons are spending disposable income that continues to help power our local economy. The DSA is also working on Small Business Saturday event, which promotes the importance of shopping local and how it supports the local economy. This year's event will take place on Saturday, 11/25, the day after Black Friday. Make sure to stop by at our Small Business Saturday Lounge on Division Street for raffles, free snacks, chair massages, and free gift wrapping courtesy of the Somerville Civic League. Finally, we're excited to announce the annual Holiday Jubilee will take place Friday, December 1st, starting at 5:30 p.m. This year, the DSA will be featuring local talent showcase, world-class performances from Princeton University's Tiger Tones, a holiday tap performance from the Foreman Brothers, and a hip-hop holiday review saluting the 50-year anniversary of hip-hop. Join us for free carriage rides, free ice skating on East Main Street, and a visit from Santa himself. Thank you.
Thank you. Couple quick things from myself. Just reminding the council and to the public in attendance and people at home watching, Veterans Day is this coming Saturday, 11/11. We will be assembling at the Veterans Plaza on Grove Street at 11 o'clock sharp. We'll have some patriotic music. I've arranged for some representatives of the Somerville High School to come and perform for us. We'll have some informative but brief speeches. I can promise you, at least from myself, to be brief. I don't know how informative I'll be, but we look forward to having as many veterans there as possible. It's very weather dependent. We've been at events there that were balmy and almost short sleeves, and we've been there at times when it's cold and windy. But it's an important event. Come out and represent the town, recognize men and women who have served our country since the Revolutionary War. Leaf pickup has begun, and I would again urge the public, if at all possible, to rake your leaves to the curb, not at and inside the roadway. I've seen lots of piles of leaves. We haven't had a lot of rain recently, but those leaves can wreak havoc if they wash into the storm drains. I know not everybody has a grass median or an available spot to rake your leaves to, but if you do have that option, we would ask you to please do that. I know the wind migrates the leaves, but if at all possible, keep them out of the street. It'll make pickup a lot easier, and it'll protect our storm drains from being clogged unnecessarily. And the last thing, our fire department is in the process of planning the Holiday Lights Parade. I spent some time this afternoon going to each of the 8 banks in Somerville. I actually never realized we had 8 banks in Somerville, but we do. 2 will be merging, Regal Bank and Somerset Savings Bank will be merging in March of next year. But we still have 8 distinct banks. So I paid each of them a visit. I left a copy of the flyer with a note from myself encouraging them to participate in a sponsorship. So, Mr. Vroom, if you just keep me posted as to, what comes in, and if I have to go back a second time, I'll be persistent and persuasive. But I hope we can get a little bit of funding because it's hard for the fire department to put the event on with work and hours, and it's hard to ask them for funds as well. So I've reached out to our bank community. I know the DSA has been approached as well with an outreach to the merchants. So I think we can, in a holiday spirit and in the spirit of gratitude for the men and women that protect our lives and property all year long, I'm hoping for a good response. So, Roger, if you just keep me updated, who's responded and who needs a gentle nudge, I'd be glad to do that. And that's all I have. We have no public hearing tonight, correct, Kevin?
No public hearing, no formal discussion items either.
Okay. Good. We have 2 ordinances are up for hearing and adoption. We'll take them separately. First one is 1002, creating Chapter 149B of the Borough Code entitled Stormwater, privately owned storage facilities for salt and other de-icing materials. I need a motion to open public hearing on this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Public hearing. Any comment or questions? Hearing none. Motion to close.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, hearing's closed. Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
I'd just like, excuse me, to make one comment. This is something that is actually required by the state. And we are doing it at the municipal level so that we can have local control over this. But it's not, we don't have the option of letting businesses keep piles of sand or of salt out in the open.
Correct. All right, roll call.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, our second ordinance for public hearing, ordinance amending ordinance 2702, providing funding for various capital purposes for the Borough of Somerville and appropriating $1,668,800 for such purpose. I need a motion to open public hearing.
So moved?
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance. Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close.
So moved?
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, public hearing is closed. Motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second?
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Kevin, those funds take approximately 21 days to be active.
This is actually an amendment to an ordinance that was adopted back in April, so it's more, I'd say a little more housekeeping than anything else.
Okay. Excellent. All right, we're at the open public meeting part. I'll have a motion to open.
So moved.
Second?
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Public session's open. If you would like to have a comment or a question, approach the microphone, address your questions to myself.
Hello, Your Honor. David C., 31 South Davenport Street.
Good evening.
Nice to see everyone. I'm here to follow up regarding opening up permit parking for the streets outside, for the townhomes down the street. I wanted to bring to you today a plot map that was given to me, public information, stating that the Borough of Somerville will be adopting these streets, whenever that ordinance is. I would like to ask the council and the mayor, do you know when that ordinance will be passed?
As was explained, I believe, 2 meetings ago, there are a lot of moving parts in the dedication of those streets to the borough. Right now, they are still privately owned and maintained, and as part of our redevelopers agreement with the owners, there are steps and I don't want to say roadblocks, but there are hurdles and procedures that have to be accommodated before both parties sign off. And I hate to put it on our borough attorney, but it's probably in the hands of the legal eagles at this point to make sure it's done according to the terms of the agreement that we have in place. So I can't tell you today it's going to be December 17th at noon, or it's going to be February 12th at 3. We're working on it, and we want it done. It's part of the agreement, but the agreement has responsibilities and requirements on both sides. And if I'm being vague, I'm just being truthful. I don't have a drop dead date on it.
Understood. Next part of the same subject, I wanted to submit 26 photos. The first 9 are the photos taken on October 18th, the streets down here through Robeson, through Station Road, to Stern-Dory Road. And I would also, the next 18 pictures are pictures of the Avalon Garage, where more than 100 parking spaces are available for use. Their visitor parking space, which is on the top floor, has roughly, I would count, probably 27, 28 parking spots. None of them are being used. So I'd like to submit these photos. They were taken on October 18th by myself. There is a very nice open door in the back where you and the council can please take a look and see how many open parking spots there are. It's very obvious that people are not purchasing them because they're not closer to the stairwell. The parking spots that are further from the stairwell are all empty. I figured giving you something, then I could have them sent over.
Yeah, I think I had sent you a letter. Did you receive that letter?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I sent you a letter responding, I shouldn't say responding, but providing some information. But it may still be, it's been about a week now, but I'll send you my email address. That way I don't have to scan these photos. If you have them visually, I'll just take them.
Yes, I do. So I wanted the council and mayor to bring it to your attention. These streets are fully being used and abused for free parking. I have someone that's parked right in front of my house that spent the time with their car from the street over here on Grove City, parking on South Davenport Street, and he has been sitting there for days. For days. That car is not moving.
I have a question. So for the development that you live in,
Yes.
do you have parking provided that you pay for? Do you have spaces that you pay for already? And do you have a parking garage that is for you?
One car garage.
Okay.
Those are all the units.
Okay. But you have two people in your home that have so you have two cars or? Okay. So, so the spaces that you're concerned about would be for the other person in your home or the other car, right?
It's actually multi-layered.
Okay.
First layer is the parking space.
Mhm.
One.
Right.
Number two is the parking tickets that are affiliated with it.
Mhm.
There's parking tickets all the time. Third piece is the garbage. There is an extensive amount of garbage that is piling up all around my neighborhood, all around the corners.
Okay. And,
Being left at
mm,
on the grass. People are assuming.
right. And the owners of your building are doing nothing to help you?
Oh, the owners of the building, I do have to sign a petition. I can scan them and send them over.
But they're not doing anything about the garbage, they're not doing anything, I mean, the tickets, from what I have seen in different emails, are for people who are parked in a fire lane. They're not parking tickets for just being parked in a spot, is that correct?
That is incorrect.
Okay,
I have been my own possession of 2 tickets because my car was parked in the wrong direction.
okay,
I also have another ticket for being parked semi on some yellow line. That was just painted that day. So it's coincidentally, I could match the days where the lines were painted to my tickets.
mhm,
There was no advance notice. All we were told was, don't park on the streets because you're gonna be paint. There's gonna be paint on them, and then surprise. Again, tickets for $55 parking in the wrong direction.
That's state statute, the directional parking. As far as the striping, I assume that was done by management.
I don't know what management was in charge of that, and if that does fall.
Kevin, are you aware of us? We didn't put any striping on roads that we don't own.
No, I mean, I did speak with the police department. My understanding is someone's under issue for prohibited areas. Based on inspections they've done here and complaints, they've asked the agency has asked the police department to look into the police department. My understanding, it's issued tickets in prohibited areas.
So it was complaint, it was
Like
our,
night parking, that was legal.
so our response was complaint-driven by the owners of the current owners of the property.
I've also learned that if you need a second space, if you have 2 cars, that you pay 50% reduction to rent a space in the parking garage. So that may be another option for you. I mean, certainly that road can't accommodate everyone, nor will it, when it becomes the borough's property, will it be available totally for residential parking. So I'm not sure if you're seeing the whole picture. You have a problem right now, but it's going to change.
I don't see how that problem is going to change when you're offering free parking out on the streets, and then your alternative is to pay for New Jersey Transit or to pay for the Avalon, which they're blatantly not paying for. There's over 400 residents for the Avalon Bay alone. I have found over 100 parking spots available in their parking garage. I mean, I am putting one and one together. Are you saying that they don't possess cars? That these units that go for $4,000 a month, that have 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, that each apartment only has 1 car available, and that they never have any guests?
I don't know what's in your lease, but, you know,
I don't know.
so,
Everybody that rents here and everybody that buys here knows the number of parking they have available. The issue really is are people parking on the streets that are going on the train or elsewhere and leaving their vehicle? So when they become public streets, you will have the ability to investigate permit parking. We'll have a hearing on that.
Right.
That'll be the process.
Right.
That's
So-
something within your.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. You were gonna say? I mean, so we're all, I hear everything you're saying, and I feel badly for the situation you're dealing with right now. And I know, like we've said, we will be addressing these issues when we can, when we physically can do that, because they belong to the borough. I don't know what we can do in the meantime for you that would make you feel better, but just know that we will be working on it when we can. So,
I would ask the mayor and the council, what would make myself and our neighbors feel much, much better is that when you adopt the ordinance, to accept the roads down the street, that you accept them as permit parking only. That would make us feel a lot better.
So there are separate ordinances within the municipal codes, so generally an ordinance takes a month with the appropriate advertising and required public hearing, and the permit parking would also take a month. They can't straddle the year, so it can't be done this year. And obviously if you get the streets, if the infrastructure issues that we're still addressing with the developer get addressed before the end of the year, in the first quarter of the year, you'll have an opportunity to further investigate that.
And also with the understanding that permit parking may not be the only solution. There might be timed parking as well. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But, and we'll probably get a heads up when that dedication of the roads will happen. You're not going to get a call on a Tuesday that Wednesday it's happening. So there'll be some lead time, which will allow us to introduce an ordinance, have a public hearing, before we adopt. No ordinances are adopted without a public hearing like we had tonight on the previous two. So there'll be plenty of time for input, and I would expect we'll get a good turnout of people at that time.
Well, my question then is, what is the hesitation of adopting an ordinance that's already in the Somerville municipal code?
Because at this point, it's not a public road. We don't have the authority to restrict parking on a private road.
It's not enforceable.
No.
Well,
we can talk about it.
my
We
question
can,
is, it's not about enforcing it now. My question is that when you adopt those roads, that they be adopted permit parking only.
I can't commit to that yet. We will craft an ordinance that hopes to address the problem, and council will deliberate. We'll introduce an ordinance that we feel solves the problem. There'll be a second meeting, which is the hearing, at which time the public will speak, and then the council will vote on that ordinance. And if it needs further refining, that ordinance could be tabled for another meeting and then come back again. But it takes at least a month between the introduction and the final adoption. And if there are revisions that go on in the meantime, there might be a third meeting necessary. Ideally, we like to introduce an ordinance that satisfies the issue we're trying to to deal with. But conditions might change between now and then too. So the only thing I can tell you is that we are sensitive to the fact that once the roads become public, there will be greater demand, especially if it's a free parking situation, because free is better than the deck, no matter how convenient and and safe and comfortable the deck is, 4 hours, 5 hours a day adds up. And if free parking is available, that's human nature. That's why we put parking restrictions on Second Street, just around the corner, because we were starting to see, visitors and commuters parking on the residential streets. So we addressed it with permit parking over there, and I think that's been fairly successful. I was over there the other day. I didn't see any cars on Second Street. We may have to apply that same thinking here on these roads, once they're ours. But until they're ours, it has to remain the way it is.
Understood.
Permit parking is exactly the answer to your situation. We did it at the hospital because there was at the time an issue. But it's only available if we can enforce it. Right now, we don't have the ability, the legal ability to enforce it since we don't own the road.
So may I ask, do you know who owns the road?
Yeah, the
Developer.
Right now, the developer still owns it until the transfer
Whether they
takes
say
place.
they do or not.
Which developer?
Builder.
Somerset.
Would be Pulte and, well, yeah.
Thank you.
But one other point, usually before we adopt such an ordinance, we want to get a petition signed by most of the residents on the street in question.
I will have that copy for you, all 156 unit owners. I've already started that.
Very good.
Great.
All right. Well, Kevin, if and when we get a timetable on that transfer of the streets, let our guests know where we are. I can't give you a deadline right now because I don't know.
I understand. So, for clarity, if Somerset Development owns those streets, and if I, the homeowner, decided to police that street, however which way, you're stating that it would be Somerset Development's responsibility to take down, to reinforce private street parking?
Jeremy, help me out with this. I can't answer that.
Property that we don't own, we don't control, we can't tell the owner what to do.
Understood. I appreciate that.
Okay.
With that final note, I did receive a response about dog droppings, and I find the Avalon's answer to be the most ridiculous answer I've ever heard in my life. What they do is they ask every resident to sign a document or a company that asks them to submit their
DNA.
pet droppings
Yep.
into a system, and then the Avalon claims that they are testing any type of poop that they find outside. I find both elements of that very hard to believe, and I would be shocked if it's a voluntarily submission. It's a document where you sign, where you state that you will voluntarily come into this program and adopt it. But there is no policing of it, so I find that answer to be unacceptable. And once again, my door camera does, and my neighbor's dog, have door cameras pick up these dogs leaving their poop everywhere. I just wanted to submit this program's details because I printed them out. This is like a medical record of your pet that you must submit, and then they have to input it into their system, and then you gotta tell me that the Avalon on a regular or randomly selects days to submit these samples so that they know it's not their pets. I would ask the council to see how many of those pets are actually registered with the town. My pet is. I submitted my registration for my pet and his rabies schedule. If they've done that, then I would believe that they've done this. But I would find it hard to believe that one of the neighbors in here that owns 4 dogs, Great Danes, I think, who are like literally submitting their poop for registration.
I can't address that. That's an internal program run by management. We do have a borough ordinance that all dogs and cats must be licensed. Do we send the police department out to verify that you have an unlicensed pet? No. But if your pet gets away and you don't have an ID tag on it because it's not registered, that's on the pet owner. But as far as enforcement of the dog leaving ordinance, that is borough. But again, you have to be caught in the act.
Correct. If maybe the council, someone could reach out to the Avalon to make sure that their pets are registered, and I'll do the same for my neighbors. I'll let them know to register their pets as well. My pet's registered. It's just nice to know that my pet, my friend, has his rabies shot, so God forbid if you were to bite somebody, it would not actually cause a medical disturbance.
Kevin, that's probably easy to cross-check our list of licenses.
Yeah, if the developer provides that information to us, we can cross-reference that fairly easily.
Okay. Let's start with that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate everyone's time. I'm sorry I made it very lengthy. I know.
No, it's your home and you're concerned about the living conditions, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Or do you want me to just...
Any additional public comment? Hearing none, motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Public hearing is closed. We'll have our consent resolutions. Are there any the council would like to discuss separately?
Yes, Your Honor, 325.
327 and 333, please.
327
Yes, please.
and 333.
333.
Okay. And I have 330. Okay. 318 is approving the 31st Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade for Sunday, March 10th, 2024. 319, approving Chapter 159 for funding through the Somerset County Department of Human Services Youth Services Grant. 320 is an appointment of Scott Schweitzer to serve on the Historic Advisory Committee. 321 is approving hiring of Cody Schaffer as a full-time driver laborer in the Department of Public Works at an opening salary of $22 per hour. 322 is authorizing submission of a grant to New Jersey Sustainable PSE&G Energy Efficiency Partnership Program Track 3. This will include municipal facilities as well as private homes. 323 is a resolution amending Resolution 2307, authorizing the Borough of Somerville Office of Emergency Management to coordinate the NIMS program for Somerville. 324, accepting the resignation of Mabel Rodriguez effective November 28, 2023. 326, requesting the New Jersey State Department of Transportation support the application by PSE&G to perform work during daytime hours on Route 28 between Dowdy Avenue and Grove Street. 328, resolution to refund sewer overpayments as a result of the sale of the sewer system. 329, authorization to pay a $500 application fee for a grant to the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and I believe the grant application amount is in excess of $2 million. So it's a pretty good return on a $500 application. 331, authorizing transfer of funds to fund certain budget items in the 2023 budget. 332 is 332 is authorizing grant funds received from the opioid settlement for a Challenge Day program in the amount not to exceed $5,000. I'll have a motion on those collectively.
So moved.
Second?
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Gina Stravic,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Teresa Bonner,
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, 325, appointing Claudia Bayett to position of registrar effective November 21, 2023. Motion?
So moved. Second?
Yeah, I have the pleasure of having Claudia join us on the election board a number of years ago. She was always a fine worker, had a high work ethic, and really was a pleasure. I think that she's doing the same thing here at the registrar's office, even though she's alone most of the time. She's always pleasant, and she's very efficient in what she does, and I certainly would support her as the position of registrar.
All right, roll call.
Council members, Granville Brady,
Yes?
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right, 327, cancellation of borough tax sales certificates not issued for pilot properties. Motion.
So moved.
Second?
Question.
I had a question on this. Are these money that they owe to us or that we owe to them?
The property owners owe to us, but normally in a taxing sale, there's a process that takes place when it's a piloted property. We haven't had sales of piloted properties, most of it's apartments. So we went through this process the first time. Our redevelopment council advises that there's an additional step that we have to go through, which would nullify the sale of that lien, and then we would have to include them in the next sale.
We have not actually placed the lien or collected the money yet, is that correct?
The funds were not collected, the lien was placed, and the lien was sold to a third party. That's the process that could not take place until we had another step that we have to do on our piloted properties. We have to provide them additional notices than we would normally provide a non-piloted property.
So that accounts for the refund referred to in the resolution.
That is correct, Councilman.
Then we start the process over and,
We likely probably just include this in the next sale.
Okay.
With all the properties.
How many properties is it?
There were only 2 at this time. I'm sorry, only 2 are affected by this resolution.
good. Roll call.
Council members, Granville Brady.
Yes?
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Okay, 330, accepting the resignation of William Disla, parking enforcement officer, effective November 17th. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Kevin, we will be listing this position. Is this the part or the full-time employee?
This was a part-time employee.
All right, and we are,
Position will be listed as an open position. It's a Monday through Friday position in the evening.
okay. All right.
Council members, Granville Brady.
Yes?
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
And 333 is authorizing free parking in lots 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 on Friday, December 1, 2023, from 5 to 10 p.m. for the holiday jubilee. Motion.
So moved.
Second?
Yeah, I had a question or concern here. In the past, we've had free parking through the Christmas season, from Black Friday until New Year's Day. Are we not doing that this year?
Council member, about 3 years ago, we changed that because we do it every year for the last 50 years. So we put it actually in the ordinance, and it's amended. The ordinance that was adopted, I believe, is only on Saturdays. So between Thanksgiving Day and New Year's Day, I'm sorry, it's only on Saturdays that the lots are free. We had studied it, and we had noticed that Monday through Friday, it provided limited value. So
And
it's really
Sunday it's free
Saturdays.
anyway.
Okay.
So this
It's already in an ordinance that exists.
so since this is a Friday,
This is specifically for.
it's a one day,
Okay.
it only covers, that one day.
Understood.
Okay. Roll call.
Council members, Granville Brady.
Yes?
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Bills and vouchers, Dr. Brady.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you very much. Hold on to your seats. I am asking you to approve payments of $2,218,537.16, and that is my motion.
Second.
Council members, Granville Brady.
Yes?
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Gina Stravic.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Teresa Bonner.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Mitchell.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See you in 2 weeks.